Interrupt. Facebook strategies and ideas.
Jerry,
Yes.
what about the UVA public media?
Sure.
Most universities have a public relations office, a marketing office. They like to control the message.
Right.
And they like to shut down rogue websites and rogue Facebook pages. Does anybody agree?
I asked that very question, and I said, do you have approval to do this? He said, yes, I got approval to do this. He said, do you have an opportunity to get a Facebook and Twitter page? He said, sure, as long as it's content pertaining specifically to the field that I'm pursuing. He also controls privacy settings, and this is what we'll call it the PR police. The PR police is most concerned about people interacting with the brand that have no concept of the brand and posting defamatory or some kind of commentary that's, you know what I'm talking about, negative commentary. He can regulate the privacy settings so no one can interact on that page except him. Nobody can interact on the page except for him, which is extreme peace of mind for the PR department at UVA. Here's another example is from what I found, and I'm dealing with private schools, all the way up to a university like UVA, is the PR departments are overworked. Extremely overworked. You may have a great story idea that you want to send to them. It may be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before that story gets on the internet website. That's where it's going to go first, the internet website. The internet website's not going to have the eyeballs of some of these other concepts, because the internet website is opt-in through an email newsletter. Okay? So he said, if I wait 2 or 3 weeks on some of these ideas, my competition at other institutions has beaten me. It's a competition. It's an arms race to see who can get to the marketplace with the idea first. Do you agree? So that's where the position he's in. But look at the professor examples of microcosm of a much bigger picture. If it works for one guy, why couldn't it work for a department? Why couldn't it work for a school? Why couldn't it work for the entire institution? Please, if you have any other questions, please ask me. I'm open-minded to anything. This is an example of Liberty University. We've poured through all your Facebook pages. It took our team a couple days to do it. We assessed the good and the bad and the ugly of what's going on right now. Liberty University, there will be no ugly talk now, only the good. Liberty University has got 74,734 likes as of 11 a.m. today. Next closest was 14,500 and change, and that was Sweetbriar College, who's also doing it extremely well. Couple of concepts, and I thought the t-shirt design, who is the representative from Liberty? The t-shirt idea you did, are you familiar with the concept I'm talking, was genius. I mean, it was absolutely genius. I don't want to interrupt the PowerPoint presentation, so I'll put it in a nutshell. It was essentially a photo gallery that was created of roughly 5 t-shirts, different designs, and they encouraged the student body to vote on what was the coolest, freshest, hippest, gnarliest design out there. One of them was the winner. That turned into the Summer Festival t-shirt, the 2012 Summer Festival t-shirt. If I'm 18 years old and I go onto this Facebook page and I see a photo gallery of 5 t-shirts and it's encouraging the student body to vote, to click like on which t-shirt design they like best, I can guarantee you, if I'm a senior in high school, I'm voting on the design as well. And what happens? That Facebook interaction is then archived on my profile. So all of my potential friends can see where I'm interacting on the web, so it creates a viral effect. If I'm like the 2012 design from Liberty with the red and blue and the stripe right down here, the left side, I think that's the coolest. I'm going to hit like, and then I'm going to comment, this is rad, this is great. That's then going to show up on my Facebook page. My friends, I have almost 4,000 of them, then see I'm interacting on Liberty, and if I have almost 4,000 friends and I'm an 18-year-old senior in high school, you better believe a lot of that 4,000 people are in high school themselves. So the next thing they're going to do is head over to the Liberty page and say, this is so cool, I'm going to interact with it as well. What do you have here? You have a viral effect that's created, and it's done absolutely free. They pay nothing for this. It's the genius of social media. Picture of the day. The picture of the day concept, guys, is so simple, but for some reason I don't see it leveraged anytime. You get a student that's an intern that's working for free to go to a department, a function, a lecture, a sporting event, and you get them to snap a picture, you post it on the page, and you would tag the appropriate personnel within that picture. That picture, because it was tagged, then shows up on the individual platforms of whoever's tagged in the picture, so their entire following is immersed in the brand, the message, the concept, the strategy. The pick of the day should be emphasized and used on your Facebook pages like 2 days ago. I'm serious. It's a simple, elementary strategy, but it really can pay like Apple-type dividends. Apple-type dividends, the pick of the day can reap. Commencement weekend. I love what you guys did with commencement weekend. They essentially did the same thing with the pick of the day, but they took it to a different level. They went and they took pictures of different demos within the student body that were graduating. You have females, you have guys, you have the jocks, you got some intellectuals, you got, you see where I'm going with this here. The entire student body that was graduating, different demos within that student body were featured in this commencement album. If I'm thinking about Liberty and I go to the Liberty Facebook page and I see 1,500, 2,000, I don't know your exact graduation count, but if I see a few thousand people, smiles on their faces that are me, but 4 years from now, what is that going to do, guys? That's going to make you think that school when applying, and that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. Let me give you a side note here. When I was getting directions to the Stonewall Jackson Hotel, I did not Google Stonewall Jackson Hotel. I went to Facebook into the search browser and typed Stonewall Jackson Hotel. And then I got directions from their Facebook page. Facebook is how we're going to use the internet in 3 or 4 years. They bought Instagram for $1 billion. Anybody see that? $1 billion purchase for Instagram. This is literally how we're going to use the internet. And why it's going to be how we use the internet is because a peer recommendation is so much more valuable than a recommendation that comes from an 18-inch box, than a recommendation that comes from a 1993 Oldsmobile Cutlass radio, than a recommendation that's going to come by a half-page ad in the newspaper. If your peer, your friend, is saying, Hampton City is where I'm going, and I can't wait to get to Farmville because it's a thriving metropolis, other folks are going to see it the same way. The peer recommendation is something that is priceless. Priceless. Word of mouth marketing. Timeline. I'm going to give you some more props. You did all this work. I know you did. You get all the credit. It's all of you that did it at Liberty here. Liberty I'm just joking. Liberty leveraged the Facebook timeline, guys, to tell the entire story of the school. The timeline goes back to 1971. So when you go to the page, I can click on the year 1988, 1983, 1977, and literally is telling the story of the school. Every school, institution, college, university, whatever it may be, should be utilizing the timeline feature. You go on the right hand of the page and you can click by year what's going on. It has value today. Imagine the value it's going to have in 10 years when every year you've populated that respective year with content. How cool is it going to be 10 years from now when we click 1998 and it's 2022 and we're able to see the clothes, the fashion, the people, what they're interested in, what they're about? How cool would that be? Now's the time to do it. Don't wait because your competition is already doing it and it's passing you by. It really is passing you by. Mobile application. Liberty has a smartphone app. A smartphone app. I mean, I was blown away by that. How many other, you don't have to raise your hand if you don't want to, how many other schools have smartphone applications? So we got roughly 10%, 15%. This is the future. You know what, strike that. This is the present. This is the past. As the BlackBerry, as the iPhone, as the Droid becomes more ubiquitous, people want to be able to go to their phone, at my iPad, and say, app, Liberty. App, QuickBooks, app, Facebook, app, MapQuest, app, Google Maps, and literally push a button and there's all the information they want. It's scary. It's very scary. This is where we're going. If you have any questions, again, please don't hesitate to ask. Facebook ads, do they work? So many people ask me this. Those ads on the right-hand column of the platform, should I be using them? Are they worth anything? Is it something that is just how Facebook is going to make money doesn't apply to us. Yes, 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 use them. If you're spending money on radio, if you're spending money on TV, and if you're spending money on print, what do those three platforms give you? Those three platforms essentially give you an advertisement that is not interactive, right? You listen to a 30-second spot on radio, you can't touch that spot. You can't kick it around. You can't pass it along to a friend. If you watch a 30-second spot on TV, you can't do anything with that spot. The newspaper is the least value kind of ad because it's got a shelf life of 24 hours, probably less than that. I'll tell you what, my demographic doesn't read print. I go online for my news. I'm as sharp as I've ever been, and so are my peers, but it's not because of print publications. It's because we have more access to digital resources than ever before. I can go and read the New York Times, read the Wall Street Journal. I have both applications, and I read them every day. I can go and read the Washington Post, and then I can go and read the Charlottesville Daily Progress. And I can do it faster than going across the street, putting 75 cents in for a newspaper that has 13 pages, pull it out of the box and say, what is this? Throw it away. By the time I've already done that, I've already read 3 publications. You get where I'm going with this here. You get where I'm going with this here. Absolutely they work. The value of